coming out here after 30 years, yeah, I ain't got nothing, but I'm gonna have something because I'm rich in personality.
That's how we begin this.
And I'm rich in love. My family love me, and that's really all that counts.
Seeing this video, these are your fans. These are the Banky Pound people seeing this video, and all of a sudden, here's this voice coming from behind the camera again. Maybe that's going to be included in this to a certain degree, but I think that this is going to give your audience a much more interesting look in terms of what you bring to the table through these stories and experiences that you share. There's a really interesting topic that we should focus on in this video, and this comes from an opportunity that you had when you were featured on Vlad TV, and you had mentioned something that stuck with him even when he featured Freeway Ricky Ross after you.
All right.
And that was a statement that you had made where you said that through 33 years in prison, you never had a good day.
All right. Yeah, man. First of all, shout out to Chris Turner, Vlad, and for the opportunity. Yeah, I stand by that statement, man. I stand by that statement. I did 12,365 plus consecutive days in prison. And I thought about it a lot before I even, said it the first time that I ever said it in my life. I don't think I ever had a good day in prison. And, I said that on the Vlad interview, and I think it went whatever they call viral. But I meant that because when you in prison, man, it's like, okay, when you say, one of the biggest statements out here these days is, at the end of the day, and I know all of us have heard that, well, but at the end of the day, and when you break that down in prison, you get visits, you get on a phone call, you get some good news, or somebody that graduated, or somebody had a birthday, or, you get a letter, or you get some money in the mail. All of these things are good things, and they can happen within a day. But at the end of the day, you laying down in a bunk. You locked in the cell with somebody that you may or may not want to be in there with, somebody that you may or not get along with. You incarcerated. You in captivity. So how is that a good day? That's not a good day. At the end of the day, you locked up. Whatever transpires, people could legitimately say, oh, I ain't get stabbed today in prison. Oh, I ain't get in a fight today in prison. Oh, I ain't get a charge today in prison. Today is a good day. But at the end of the day, you're going to lock up for every count. You're going to lock up at the end of the night. You still incarcerated. You still can't get up and go where you want to go. You can't do what you want to do. You can't see your people when you want to see them. You can't be with your loved ones. You can't be with your girl. Man, it ain't no good days in prison. It ain't none. And with all due respect to Rick Ross, the real Rick Ross, Freeway Ricky Ross, shout out to him, my brother, my comrade. I understood what he said, but I don't think when Vlad posed the question to him, I don't think he understood what I was saying. I concur with him. He went into prison being the most successful drug dealer in the United States history. If there is such a thing, successful drug dealer, meaning like he accumulated more money selling drugs than anybody in the United States history. Doing that while being illiterate, while not being able to read or write, and then to go to prison and become, more educated, being able to learn how to read and write and, crushing books. He read, hundreds and hundreds of books, maybe even thousands, he said. And, just learning a lot of things that he did not know. He said in his response to Vlad telling him about, what I said, he said it's a lot of things that he did in prison that he don't think he could have did outside of prison. So prison, he had good days in prison. He wish he had more time, more hours in a day in prison. I don't think he, really thought about that before he said it, because I disagree, just like he disagreed with what I said. I disagree with what he said because you could have did all of that on the street. You didn't do it, but there's no way you can say I could have I couldn't have did that on the street. You could have did it on the street. Matter of fact, most people in life do it on the street. Most people in life learn how to read on the street. Most people in life do the things that they do in the street. We just was unfortunate enough to end up in prison, and you had to do it there. But you definitely could have done that on the street. And it would have been way more better for you to do it on the street. But being that you was in the condition that you was in and you was forced to do it, that goes back to the theory I always say, force versus choice. You know, that's what a lot of us do. A lot of us out here on these streets, man, we put ourselves in a position to keep trying our luck and keep on testing fate. And then when we get locked up, you know, whether it be we out here selling drugs, whether it be we out here robbing people, whether we out here doing whatever, we don't stop. And that's a choice. We could stop. You know, we could exercise our willpower and we could stop, but we don't. But the irony in that is then when we go to prison, the people make us stop. They make us stop. So we forced to do something that was in our willpower to do all the time, but we didn't exercise our willpower. This is what I say when I talk to the college students when I'm fortunate enough to be in front of a college audience. I use that example, force versus choice, and I usually go with this because I know I'm more or less talking and reaching these males, although I want to reach the females as well, but I know the males. And I usually use this analogy with them. I say, now, how many of you in the audience are virgins, and not too many hands go up? Okay, so I use that example and I say, now ask yourself, if somebody came up to you and said, I give you $1 million, right? Or $5 million to not have sex for 5 years, tax-free money, would you take it? Now, everyone, if not all of them, a high percentage of them will say, yeah, but what they'll do, like I know, they'll sneak around and try to have sex and think they ain't gonna get caught or woo, but they'll take the deal. But they probably can't, succeed because when you're young and you first start having sex in your mind, you thinking in your life, you can't live without it. You gotta have it. So they probably would not complete the task, but they'll take the deal. Now, the irony in that is you could get all the money that you're trying to get just by exercising your free will, but you don't do it because you don't have that type of capabilities, that type of willpower. But what happens when you go to prison? Now you can't have sex, because you're forced not to have sex unless you get into some tomfoolery. So you can't have sex. So you're now doing something by force that you could have done by choice, and you could have prospered on it. Same thing with cigarettes. You can't smoke, but you can't stop smoking. You get patches, you get gum, you get all of this stuff to try to stop smoking, and then you go to prison and they take away the cigarettes and you can't smoke. And you don't die. Amazingly, you don't die. But this is all within our willpower. So Freeway Ricky Ross is the same thing. It was in his willpower to be on the street and to be able to read and write, but he didn't choose to do that. Like I didn't choose to follow the laws when I was out here the first time. So that's why we end up in the position that we was in. So, with all due respect and big shout outs to Freeway Ricky Ross, man, a great dude, man. A real life soldier. I enjoyed our interview. I enjoyed the conversations that I've had with you, and I know you're a real one. But I definitely disagree. I believe you could have been as accomplished. And I told you this, and he would tell you that I told him this. I think Freeway Ricky Ross got the type of brain and capacity to run a Fortune 500 company. I believe that without a shadow of a doubt. If you can run the biggest drug operation in the United States from the age of 20 to 23 or whatever the ages was, and be not able to read or write, be, technically illiterate. Brother, why can't you run a Fortune 500 company? This is why I believe when he came out, so many people was not willing to, give him a entryway into whatever he was trying to get into, whether it was boxing, whether it was the weed, whether it was the movies. People ain't wanted because they was already afraid of his mind. They was afraid of his capability to run things, his leadership authority. They was already afraid of that. He demonstrated that before he went into prison. Now he come out of prison more educated. A more educated leader is a more powerful leader. So, But man, I'm glad that he getting to it and he doing this thing. I know he just opened up one of the biggest dispensaries out there in LA. I know he in the boxing game. I know he getting into the movies. So he killing it, man. He doing what he want to do because he, you know what I'm saying, he know how to get to it. That's what he do. But I definitely feel like I never had a good day in prison, man. I had some good days, like I said on Vlad. I had days where they weren't as bad as others, but every night in the penitentiary, man, every night without exception, I laid down on a hard bunk with plastic mattress, plastic pillow, and I was in prison and I couldn't get up and I couldn't do what I wanted to do. I couldn't just hop up and call my mother. I couldn't do the things that I'm able to do now, you know, thank God. I couldn't go see my grandkids. I couldn't take them to the beach. I couldn't be there with them Christmas and holidays and, you know, scam on Halloween and, you know, and have that type of fun. I couldn't go to my grandson's graduation. You know, I couldn't watch my grandson go into the Marines. I couldn't be there to watch him graduate from boot camp. You know, go to church with my mom. You know, talk to my nieces, give them advice, go to my niece's graduate. I couldn't do none of that. So if you in prison, all of these things is non and void. So how you having a good day in prison when all of these things is going to continue to happen with or without you, and you still going to be locking up in a cell at night, joker on top bunk, farting and passing gas, you smelling socks and come on, dog. You 4 o'clock in the morning, he getting up, use the toilet sound like a volcano going off, waking you up. And that ain't no good day, bro. That ain't no good day. If you without your freedom, man, which I personally believe, and ain't nobody else got to believe, but I personally believe that on this earth, while you are standing upright, the lowest position that you could possibly be in on this earth is in captivity. I believe that, you know, and I'm not, and no disrespect to nobody else, but I'm saying homeless, people. I believe the lowest form that you can possibly be on is in captivity, man. Slavery is one of the biggest atrocities of this whole world, and that's what you in when you locked up. You don't got your own rights. You can't do nothing. Every decision is already made for you. You got to go with the flow. You got to survive. You got to adapt and be able to live in this environment. And everything is against you. You treated like a subhuman. And, you know, people don't hear you. Your voice is unheard. You know, don't nobody listen to nobody in prison, man. That's one of the biggest things when I came out and I started doing these interviews, you know, with the After Prison Show or whatever. I was just surprised at the views and just watch the views. I'm like, man, that many people care about what I got to say? When I just did, you know, 33 years, when ain't nobody care if I said anything, I could have been screaming at the top of my lungs and COs will walk right by you like you don't even exist. You know, you don't even exist. So to just be heard people say, oh, in the comments of the After Prison Show, or this got this many views or that many views, or people to watch and watch me cook, you know, with Joe and get 1 million and something views when that's the same meal that I done cook 1,000 times to eat to survive. And they fascinated with that. That blows my mind. You know what I'm saying? Because it's just so surreal. So, nah, man, I ain't had no good days in prison. I stand by that 100%. 100%, man. 12,365 plus consecutive miserable days is what I did in prison, dog. And this is why I preach, this ain't what you want, young fellas. I promise you this ain't what you want. Don't get caught up out here in this life and people telling you, man, oh, you got to be a gangster, or man, you got to do this. Bruh, they ain't going to be there with you. They ain't going to be there with you. I just talked to, shout out to Monty, man. I'm going to say that in this video from, shout out to him. I grew up with this dude. It was like 4 of us that was like super cool when we was growing up. It's me, Becky, Monty, and Levert. You understand? We grew up, we did a lot of things together. When I went to prison, I ain't see none of them dudes. You know what I'm saying? If you take all 4 of them dudes that I was with virtually almost every day, if you take all 4, we fought together out on the street. We done thugged it out. We done did a lot. But when you talking about when I did that time, if you take all 4 of them dudes together and combine all the times that all 4 of them visit me together, I would need less than 1 hand. And that's real. And unfortunately, Levert just passed away a couple of months ago. All some freak stuff that happened, with his gums, and turned out to be, life ending for him. R.I.P. to him. Becky is, doing the best he can, but he got injured on a job working, and now he getting disability. Monty just lost his job, but he been, truck driver, been in the Marines and got out of the Marines and everything, been a truck driver, but he just lost his job. So by him losing his job, he started watching my videos, and I'd have been out here 4 years. And he started watching my videos because somebody said, man, your homeboy Banky be making a video. And he started watching them. And he just called me last week, and this a grown man that I grew up with, that I did a lot of things with. And he almost crying on the phone because he said, man, I ain't know you went through all that stuff. He said, man, I feel so bad, man. I feel like I should have came and visit you more. I feel like I should have done more. You know what I'm saying? And this a dude that when he came out of the service, he had some hard times, and he was such a good friend to me. And growing up, that my mom, shout out to my mom, Mama Pam, she took him in. He lived with my mama for a certain period of time while I was locked up, and wasn't even coming to see me. And he ended up marrying the girl down the street from my mom, who he's been married to now for over 30 years. But he ain't come see me in prison. So that's a lesson to you youngins out here who run around with this dude and that dude, and you think this my homeboy, and you ready to pop the trigger for him, and you ready to do this and do all that for him. When you go down, when you fall, you're going to fall alone. And you're going to be alone, and you're going to have to survive alone. And it ain't no good days in that period. You ain't going to have no good days. I can promise you that. Because every day when them doors open and you walk out of that cell, it ain't nobody on this planet can tell you that you gonna make it back to that cell. That you gonna make it back. So it ain't no good days in there, man. It just ain't none, man. And like I say, man, big shout out to Freeway, man. And everybody's perspective is everybody's perspective, but me, I ain't had none, bro. And so when I be making these videos and all y'all be hitting me in the comments and y'all be like, man, how you do 33 years and you be smiling all the time? That's why I'm smiling. That's why I'm smiling. Because I ain't got to wake up in captivity. And everything ain't gravy out here for me. Everything glitter ain't gold. Every closed eye ain't sleep. Everything ain't gravy for me. I be going through it. I got a ton of problems. Rent due today. You did? But I can still smile because these problems, they don't equate to them problems I had in there. You know what I'm saying? If I can't make the rent today, I'm probably gonna get an extension. I had a bad day in prison, I'm probably gonna go to the upper room. Those two big different things, man. So yeah, I'ma smile because I know that it ain't that. It's serious, but it ain't that serious. It ain't prison serious. You understand me? And there, all slips count, man. You gonna lose your life if you mess up in there. One time you could lose your life if you mess up in there. You understand me? So living under that type of pressure every day, man, that ain't no good day. Nah, that ain't no good day to me. I know I've been in that position, and I know other people been in that position. You go to the visiting room and you see your people and you happy and you come back, but when you come back, you got a beef with somebody. Somebody plotting on you. I know dudes that went to the visiting room and came back and the Joker was waiting in the hallway for him and he got stabbed coming from the visiting room after he just seen his people. So is that a good day? No, man. Nah, bro, I gotta disagree with that 100%, man. But just me. It may just be me, man. I prefer freedom, struggle, hard times, and all that out here than whatever they got going on in there. You know what I'm saying? That's what I prefer. So nah, I ain't had no good days in there. And I know a lot of jokers that feel the way I feel, man. But nah, I don't want no more parts of it. And like I say, me and you, me and Joe was speaking today a little bit about, you know, people, you know what I'm saying, that's back in there, or people that's out here now that's doing this, and they get in some type of altercation or some type of mishap, and they had to go back for a while, and they come out, and then they blow up, they get even bigger. You know what I'm saying? And the first thing, me and Joe was discussing that, the first thing I told Joe, and he'll tell you, I said, well, I don't want it that way. I don't want no parts of it that way. If that's the only way that this can blow up, I don't want it. If I gotta go back for 5 days for my page to explode, you can keep it. That's how much I don't want no more parts of the penitentiary, my brother.
So you wouldn't go on 60 days in?
Nah, I wouldn't go in 60 days in if they gave me 60 million. I don't want it.
Shit. You wouldn't do it for 60 million?
No, man. I think I literally would, what's the thing called? Trigger. I think I literally had triggers, man, and I think it'll mess me up, man. You know, I literally had triggers. I told people this is the honest God truth. I'm in this place right now, God bless, by myself. Bruh, I promise you, I lock my bedroom door every night. I cannot go to sleep without knowing, and there ain't nobody in the house, but I can't go to sleep knowing that my bedroom door is unlocked, my front door is locked, my screen door is locked. So in my mind, you got to get through 3 doors to get to me. I don't sleep that hard, I'm gonna wake up. All I need is a fighting chance. You know what I'm saying? But I need those things to feel somewhat comfortable. So you talking about going in on a 60-day thing, even though I know it's scripted or this, that, or the third, I'm still around some dudes that's really locked up, and they might do something to trigger me where I might respond in the way I would respond in prison, and then them 60 days turn into, hold on, we got to give you some real time, because what you just did to this dude, I can't do that, man. I can't put myself in that position. I can't even imagine myself volunteering to say, I'm going to go ahead and be locked up again. Man, you know how hard I tried to get up out of that joint? Nah, they can keep that 60 million. I don't need that type of money. I go ahead and thug it out and get it the hard way. I go up in there, somebody playing or something, run down on me, and I do some stupid stuff before I could think, and then all of a sudden, these people trying to, you know, because real is real. It may be scripted, but if you do something real, you might have to pay real consequence. I can't afford to pay it, man. I used up all my resolve to get through them 33 years, man. So no, they can keep that money. I watch it. I watch it. I ain't going up in there. Somebody asked me that before in my joint. You wouldn't go on 60 days. Man, somebody even asked me in my chat. I be thinking y'all be tripping in my chat. Asked me in my chat, man, so you mean to tell me, Banky, you wouldn't do 3 years for 30 million? No, absolutely not. You do it. And I'll tell you how to survive or give you the best advice I can while you doing it. And I'm going to tell you right now, even though I survived 33 years, whatever I tell you may be help you, but it ain't a guarantee you coming out. It ain't a guarantee, just like it won't a guarantee I'm coming out. So, nah, I don't want you go do it. You take it. I can't do it, bro. You'll do it, Joe?
I do it.
60 million for
60 days?
Would you do 60 million for 6 years in real prison?
Nah.
I know you wouldn't. I know you wouldn't.
I got a son now.
Yeah, man.
I do the 60 days, though.
60, yeah, because that's...
I'm going to go in there and run that shit.
Yeah, all right.
I'm going to fight everybody. I'm going to start a gang in there. We're called the Pirates.
Yeah, okay.
I'm going to turn that shit
Okay.
I'm going to walk in there. Who running this?
Yeah.
Not no more.
Yeah, then it's
Who phone this?
Yeah. Hey, did you see the one? They got a new one out. People asked me to do a reaction to it, but I said I don't even know how to do the reaction this real long. I ain't learned that yet, but I say it's so long, I don't know if I could do it. The long reactions, but the joint called Unlocked. Have you seen that?
No.
Oh, you might need to check it out. They kept telling me about it, so I went and looked at it. But it's like a show where this warden has came up with this thing now where he has this big old jail is in one of these big cities where he goes in and he tells them, I'm going to unlock all the doors and y'all going to have free reign and there's not going to be no police in here at all, and I'm going to give y'all a chance to show the people why y'all deserve to be treated human. So they are actually literally in there with the doors unlocked 24/7, no guards, no nothing. When they bring the food, they push it in, they let everybody supervise themselves. but they got cameras in there. So
They cutting up.
Yeah, they cutting up, man. I mean, dudes is getting bust up. They in there smoking. They in there cooking wine. All that's okay.
They doing exactly what they knew they was going to do.
They in there smoking crack. They doing everything. It's right there on camera, and the people looking at them. So it's crazy. So
They knew what they was doing making that show.
right, you know what I'm saying?
They do exactly what they supposed to.
Yeah, and everybody say, "Oh, it's the most popular show on Netflix." Yeah, because y'all only seeing what people actually have to live, and then you're not really getting 100% because you got to understand. Even though they're doing what they're doing, they still know the camera's out. Dudes in there cooking up wine, looking at it like the camera, like this. Hey, well, they ain't coming, they ain't gonna mess with us. Yeah, but man, it's real in the field, man, and hard on the yard, man. So yeah, they can keep that money. Yeah, I thug it out, man. You know. But if you go on 60 Days In, I would definitely watch it. Yeah, I watch it. Joe, after prison show is on
beat up every day,
60 Days In.
I'm gonna make a comeback after that.
Man, they will literally, I think they will literally fly you out to be on there. I think they would. If you campaign for it, I know they would do it just because of, you know, who you are. I think they would definitely put you on there. And I think it would definitely get millions of views because I might watch it 1,000,000 times.
The banky special.
Yeah.
Pure delicious.
Pure deliciousness, man. My name is Banky, man. Everybody calls me Banky. That's the name that I got from my grandmother when I was young. I'm coming out here after 30 years. Yeah, I ain't got nothing, but I'm gonna have something because I'm rich in personality, you know, and I'm rich in love. My family love me, and that's really all that counts.